is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, as you can see, we have my dad's 2011 Harley Street Glide up on the lift. So in today's video, we're going to be installing a color matched mid-length front fender from Hogworkz onto my dad's 2011 Street Glide in the Merlot Sun Glow, the kind of quote-unquote root beer color of the 2011 model year. As some of you may have caught if you follow me on Instagram, I installed the same color matched mid-length front fender from Hogworkz on my 2021 Harley Road Glide Special in the Snake Venom. I've been rocking that fender now for a little over a year, and it's held up absolutely wonderful and whatnot. So my dad fell in love with it and decided to upgrade his front fender because it's a 2011. So there were some spots where the paint was starting to peel off and rust was starting to form and stuff, just typical wear and tear stuff, from rocks and whatnot. So without further ado, let's get right into it. If you have a newer touring bike like I do, you'll have hex bolts here on your lower fork. But as you can see, these older models, I want to say it was 2013 and older. I want to say the Rushmore bikes switched here, but I could be wrong as well. But you'll find out real quick if your bike has hex bolts here or not. And if they don't, like the 2011, you're going to have to go in here and the screws come in from the inside. And you probably can't see very well right now. Once we get the fender off, I'll show you what we're talking about more in depth. But there's a little plate here that these tabs fold over to lock onto the head of the bolt, just to kind of keep it from coming loose. So step one is you're going to want to get a flat tip screwdriver in here and pry these back so you can get to the bolt head and unscrew it. So like I said, that is on the older models. And if you're talking newer models, as you can see, they just have the hex right through. And as you can tell, this is the Hogworkz mid-length front fender in Snake Venom. And then, like I said, again, you have the hex heads there. So if you don't have the hex bolts on your lower fork, you're going to have to go in through the front of the fender, like I said, and bend those tabs to get to the bolts. So we already went ahead and did that. So now we're just going to find the appropriate size, start taking the bolts out. So the appropriate size that we found was 1/2 inch. So this is going to be a little bit of a tedious process because you're just working in tight quarters. So we're just going to skip ahead till we are ready to get the fender off. Alright, so as you guys see, we have the front fender off. Like I said, it's just 2 bolts per lower fork. And just to show you here, these are like the tabs. Now this one got a little busted when we were peeling it off, but there's just 2 tabs per bolt. That just kind of extra security measure to hold the front fender on. So when you get your kit from Hogworkz, everything's packaged extremely well. 10 out of 10 on the packaging department. And then you're going to have to pick spacers. It will prompt you if you want black or chrome spacers, and then as well as your model year range. So make sure you select the correct model year for your bike. These are the old bolts that came out. They send you some hex screws to go in, and then like obviously that his bike's a little older and they don't go from the outside in, they go from the inside out. So we're definitely going to want to use some Loctite on these, but nonetheless they send you some bolts, some washers, and then 2 brackets. So at this point we can just kind of go ahead and start placing the fender in and getting the brackets ready to go on with the Loctite and the washers. So at this point I do not have my tripod, so I was not able to put the GoPro on the tripod for this part of the installation. But all we did was I held the fender in place while my dad put the spacer in between the fender and the fork, and then we just put the washer on the fender side there, and then we obviously went ahead and put Loctite on each of the 4 bolts and just kind of got them all hand started on both sides. So now my dad's going to go ahead and we're going to start tightening everything down, and then once everything's tightened, we're going to try to go in a back and forth pattern as much as possible, and then we'll do the final torque down. Alright, so we went back and forth, snugged everything down, and now we are going to torque everything down to the torque spec, which is 13 foot-pounds for the 2011 front fender. So now we got everything torqued down, and as you can see, it is way more sleeker, way more sportier than the traditional fat fender. So very easy install, so thumbs up to that. Like I said, if you got the older bike, you have to bend those tabs and take the bolts out from the inside. You got the newer bike, the Allen screws just go through from the outside in. But if you guys have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll try to answer it the best I can. If I can't, somebody else will. As always, I'll have the link to this down below in the description. The color match is absolute pristine, very good quality, no complaints there. So that's gonna wrap up today's video installing the mid-length front fender on a 2011 Street Glide. So if you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to smash that like button, comment, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so that way you guys stay notified every time I post a new video like this one. And make sure to ride safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Yeah.